Hi, my name is Alex Paat. I'm a visual artist who grew up in Columbus, Ohio, which is also where I'm currently based. In my work, I utilize ceramic sculpture, neon, and found objects to create portals that examine themes of connection, generativity, and the mysterious joy of life. My background is in ceramics, particularly functional ceramics, but then I eventually started taking my work in a more sculptural route. And at the same time, I became really enamored by neon art that I was seeing. There was something about the linearness and its relation to type and the color and the otherworldliness that just spoke to me. So I took a neon course at Glass Access, now Columbus Glass Art Center here in Columbus, Ohio. And I quickly learned that bending tubes of glass is way, way harder than you would think. However, there was something about just even including a single line of light in a piece that's able to cut through a piece like a message from a different realm or another dimension. And I knew that I really wanted to incorporate the neon with the clay. In my work, I think a lot about dualities throughout biblical literature, specifically the duality of heaven and earth, or the divine and the human. And neon is such a wonderful visual metaphor that references the divine. It is light is of the stars, and neon is so geometric and precise that it really speaks to that idea of something celestial and divine. And meanwhile, clay is so earthy and malleable and imperfect and organic, and it really speaks to humanness. And so combining these two media into a piece really references that duality in a really succinct and meaningful way. A moment that will always stick with me was my first time ever going to an art museum. It was here in Columbus, the Columbus Museum of Art. And I remember just being in awe of all the things that I saw, the paintings, the sculptures. And I went home and I wrote in my journal that I think it would be cool to be an artist. And I thought it would be cool to have a painting in a museum one day. But that just always is a spark moment that I always look back of and think of as a really inspirational and influential time that would go on to influence the rest of my life. The Columbus Museum offers free admission on Sundays, and so me and my family we just went with some other family friends and just on a Sunday just to see all the work, and it was really cool to see that. I've been utilizing the funds to grow and develop my own neon practice. This is kind of a multi-pronged endeavor. I'm using some of the funds to hopefully fund a residency later in this year. I've been amassing my own equipment for neon building, and I've also been initiating conversations and having conversations with fabricators who are able to design work that's a couple steps beyond my own current skill level. And I'm excited to really see this neon aspect of my multimedia practice bloom as a result of this collaboration with Haystack. I am most inspired by the determined and amazing and quirky and self-motivated craft community around me. I've been able to spend a lot of time at craft schools across the eastern US, specifically like Aramont, Penland, obviously Haystack, which is where I've been able to get to know so many amazing people and just see their own passion for their own work, their dedication to learning their craft, particularly at Haystack in 2022 when I was a technical assistant to Isaac Scott in the ceramic studio. Just getting to be in an amazing place with makers and getting to focus on our own artwork and the things we're trying to say. That community is a huge influence to me in my work. Through my work, I hope to create immersive experiences that provide a space for people to reflect and think and just experience art and metaphor in a really unique way. Some of my work is a commentary on my own personal lineage and my family and ethnicity's relationship with clay and place and time, and also my creative lineage. Some of my works are uh, love letters to people in my community, my wife, my son, and just celebrating the power of a love and connection that has the ability to generate new life. Some of my works are just fun explorations in form and glyph and alphabet, creating new worlds and new possibilities through clay and neon. The physical landscape and architecture of Haystack is so profoundly affecting. The fact that it's right by the ocean, you can go um, swim in the ocean with your friends. The boardwalks are just really cool, and the fact that it's all interconnected. And I think that the architecture and the physical landscape really also speak to a uniquely egalitarian social landscape where makers of all disciplines and perspectives just come to share, to create, to connect, and to dive into their work in a really unique way. The Haystack Artist Grant Initiative cohort has been really helpful to me in a very transitory period of my life and my art practice. I finished out a grad program at Rochester Institute of Technology this past May, and the Haystack Artist Grant Initiative has provided a lot of support and structure as I've moved states and had different jobs and going through a lot of life transitions as well. So I've really appreciated getting to know my other cohort members, as well as mentorship from Vivian and Cedric has been really invaluable in helping me discover and really figure out what my personal brand is, some wild goals that I have for the future, and ultimately being a more connected artist in the field.